Hi, everyone. I'm here with my family. I would say the only thing that stressed us out when we were asked to come up here and speak was getting it brief. So I'm starting my timer. We're going to do our best. But then I thought to myself, they gave the mic to a lawyer and an actor, and brevity is like not our thing. So bear with us and feel free to gong us off if we are going over. So I'm Elizabeth Lashley-Haynes. This is my husband, Jansen, my daughter, Morgan, who's almost 21, my son, Lexington, who is 11, and my parents, Bob and Gloria Antall. I won't tell you their ages. The way we came to All Saints, we were at a point in our lives when we were in our late 20s. We were new parents, and we were seeking a more meaningful place for our own spirituality and a church that we felt comfortable raising our children in. One night, I was home with Morgan, who was about 4 years old at that time. And I turned on, I'm dating myself, a recorded version, a taped version of Oprah. We were in a little house in Highland Park. My husband was at work, and late one night, I watched my favorite show, Oprah, and I saw this panel of spiritual leaders, and there was a man on Oprah who answered a young man's question who was struggling, and his answer said, something like, well, you know, to this young man, he said, being gay is a gift from God. And I was stopped in my tracks. Being Catholic, I saw him wearing a collar, and I was overwhelmed at that point. I rewound it because I couldn't believe it. And I listened to him say it again. And then I listened to the rest of the show. I rewound it all the way to the beginning, and I thought, who is this man, and where is he from? I thought, I'm going to find him, no matter where he is in the country, right? I'm going to find him. And he was 10 minutes away, and I couldn't believe it. That following Sunday, after I watched the show, we came here to All Saints, immediately felt at home. New member class was starting that day. I signed up. And the rest is history. We have both done the new member classes. Formerly, they were Covenant 1 and Covenant 2. Our kids have both been baptized here. They've done many CYF youth activities, choir. I served on the vestry and various CYF committees, many small groups. Morgan preached on Youth Sunday when she was a senior, and Lexington was baby Jesus shortly after he was born. So All Saints is deeply in the roots of who we are as a family. For each of us growing up, and I'll let my husband speak for himself, I grew up Catholic and Jansen grew up Baptist. We were both believers in God and spiritual, but we both questioned our churches of origin, and specifically, we had issues around financially supporting each institution. While I love the Catholic Church for its social justice work, I felt very uncomfortable as the basket passed each week because I knew that they weren't aligned with my politics and the positions that I believe in, and their lack of inclusiveness was not representative of who I felt in my core. And I'll let you talk a little bit about your experience.
Sure. So, hi everybody, I'm Jansen, and I know you guys see me sometimes, not as much as my wife, but I am not Susan's ex-husband. I am not a C&E Christian. I started my religious and my spiritual life at different times. I was born into, like my wife said, Baptist, and pretty much from the very day one, I was just terrified I was going to burn for all eternity, pretty much, because I was pretty sure I was. So I'd always prayed, because it was like law of averages, It's like, well, just in case, you never know, so I did, and you do that long enough, you start believing, but when I met Liz, I knew how important it was for her to be spiritual and to have religion, and I basically decided that I was going to do whatever she wanted. So I went, and I believed, and I didn't believe everything, but I listened to everything, and then things started to change, especially when we moved to California. And it's hilarious how it always, I promise you, we didn't really talk about this much before we got here, but it always comes back to Ed for me. I came here before 15 years ago, and I had reservations because it was another church, and I was like, okay, whatever. But I told that to Ed, and you know what he said? He said, hey, man, all you got to do is love everybody. And I was like, dude, I can do that, man. And once you get here, no one's pressuring you, no one's telling you have to do this, you have to do that. But it gets infectious because you see everybody doing it. And yeah, the financial thing, coming from non-transparency to full transparency is awesome. So it's awesome.
At All Saints, our family feels fully supported for exactly who we are, no matter what. I know that we're all accepted equally, and I knew that whatever sexuality, gender, expression our children ended up being would be accepted here at this church. And they would also learn that all people, no matter what, were welcome at God's table. This is the type of place that's fully aligned with our values and that we finally feel happy and comfortable financially supporting. And I was surprised that they asked us to speak because maybe some of you could relate. We are not wealthy people. We are a public defender and a working actor, and we are of modest means for Los Angeles. Yet we are consistent with our giving. It is a monthly commitment, and we do it as a bill pay right out of our bank. Even when money's tight, I know that this commitment we feel good about. All Saints has supported our family in so many ways that we gladly want to support All Saints in every way possible. And now I'll let my parents explain a little of their story. Sorry, y'all.
Morning, All Saints. I know this has gone on quite long, so I'm going to read fast and I'll be short. Like Liz, I spent most of my life in the Catholic Church, and over time I found myself feeling increasingly disappointed, disillusioned, especially around the area of inclusiveness. When Robert and I moved to Pasadena, Elizabeth, having seen Ed Bacon on Oprah, told us, boy, Mom, have I found a church for you. The first time I walked into All Saints, I instantly felt at home, as if this was exactly where I was meant to be. I was a little embarrassed that the tears began to flow and didn't stop, but I later learned from many new friends here that's a very common experience here at All Saints. There are 3 things that All Saints told me, and I'll make them very short. First one is radical welcome. The first time I heard, whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey of faith, you are welcome here, again I cried. This is exactly what I had been searching for. Though it sounds simple, this message is profoundly powerful, and it is the heart of All Saints. The second thing I learned from All Saints was that God dwells in you, and I usually can't do this without crying, so I'm going to really try hard. Hearing those words the first time in one of the earliest services, it made my heart actually flutter. And yes, brought more tears. As you can see, I'm a crier. In my previous spiritual life, the emphasis was frequently on sin and unworthiness. To be told that God dwells in me was transformative, something I had never felt worthy of believing. The third thing was that this church extends beyond these walls. I prayed for guidance on how I could be useful here, and my prayers were abundantly answered. Though through serving in various ministries, I've made lifelong friends and met incredible people. Working together to tend to those in need has been one of the greatest gifts of my life. In closing, it is a joy for me to pledge each year to a church that I see doing so much good in the world. Every week I witness the impact: support for the unhoused, clothing and essentials for those affected by the fire, care for people in crisis, beautiful music, radical inclusion, and honest work toward healing our history. These are the things that truly make a difference in a community, and for them I am deeply grateful. Thank you.
So today, we're asking you to consider making a pledge or increasing the pledge that you made last year. No amount is too small. What matters most is participation, the shared belief that this community is worth supporting. And I'm going to pass it on to my grandson.
Oh, boy.
Hello, everybody. This church means a lot to me. I have been coming here ever since I was born in 2014. I've made a lot of friends in choir. It's been a real honor to be here. I want to thank my choir teacher, Miss Jenny, for making me have one of the best times of my life. Peace to you all.